Welcome to this edition of Wicked Web Wednesdays with me, Chris Davidson. Today's topic, the second dirty little secret of speakers' websites. To reveal that, I have a story I'd like to tell you. But first, let me underpin that story with a quick analogy. When thinking of the complexity of information technology over time, I like to compare it to a pendulum. A pendulum you might find in an old, long case clock, slowly swinging from side to side, regulating the escapement and regulating the time of the clock. And here is that very pendulum, made from old junk in the garage. The weight is a reflector of an old boat trailer I remember from the 1960s. So finally, over half a century later, we have some use for the junk in the garage. When I joined the computer industry in 1980, there is absolutely no doubt that the pendulum was swung right over to the hard side of the scale. Computing was difficult. It involved armies of people, computers the size of wardrobes, and it was eye-wateringly expensive. There is absolutely no doubt that over time, this pendulum has swung right over to the easy side of the scale. Computing is a lot easier and cheaper than it used to be. This is true. People will tell you how easy it is to create an app to engage your audience, how easy it is to put up a new website, how easy it is to advertise on social media, etc. That very point, ladies and gentlemen, is what I believe is the second dirty little secret of speakers' websites. I don't believe it's easy at all. I don't deny that computing started off very hard. I don't deny that the pendulum has swung over to the easier, quicker, cheaper side of the scale. However, I believe that that pendulum has now swung back here. And so for those of you in the CATS community, consultants, authors, trainers, speakers, for those of you in the CATS community, I believe that computing is as hard for you as it was when I joined the computing industry back in the 1980s. Let me tell you the story now, and at the end of that story, I would love to know whether you agree with me or not. And so here is the story. It starts in 1981. When IBM announced the personal computer. In 1981, the computing industry was dominated by big mainframe computers. Computing, as we said before, was hard. So on the hard scale, we're somewhere up here in the 1980s. No doubt about that at all. Next big landmark, I'm going to go through this very quickly, 1991. Sir Tim Berners-Lee, the World Wide Web, and the IBM PC had been around for a decade by then. It really was getting a lot of traction. And Microsoft announced PowerPoint, Excel, Word, etc. Lotus 123 spreadsheet had been out for a while. And so now individual departments within large companies could go out and purchase desktop computing to solve real problems quite cheaply without having to revert to the IT department and wait for months while an army of programmers came up with a solution. Suddenly, they discovered that getting a computer to help them on their desk was actually coming into the cheap and easy spectrum. How incredibly interesting. That was in 1991 thereabouts. Then we go to 2003 thereabouts, when easy websites came along. WordPress, Squarespace were both announced in 2003. So we're still in the easy part of the spectrum here. It's easy for people to get online and create websites. And then 2007, oh my goodness gracious me, Steve Jobs changed the world when he announced the iPhone. Now, of course, all the users loved it. But there we begin to see a dichotomy. Users go, oh my goodness gracious me, we love this. Everybody involved in IT goes, oh my goodness gracious me, what has this guy done? That was further compounded in 2010 when along came the iPad. Why? We see great confusion now going on in this part of the world, because suddenly everything that you are trying to do has to be delivered across 3 devices: desktop, tablet and mobile. And that is unquestionably hard. Anybody who's telling you that IT is still down here is joking. Unless, of course, they're the IT department from the 1980s who have reskilled themselves and still have armies of programmers and what have you. If you're trying to do this, all of this yourself, which is quite common in the CATS community, consultants, authors, trainers, speakers, it's hard. Recognize it's hard. And that's why I was saying before, the pendulum is back over on the hard side of the scale. This is really, really difficult stuff. I'm just going to reconfigure this board a little bit and we'll have a look at it in more detail. Welcome back. Here we are. It's 2020. You've got to deliver everything across desktop, tablet and mobile to an equal extent. Here's your website in the middle. What is it that you have to do nowadays in order to deliver a good service to your clients? Well, they come to your website and they want to be able to look at your calendar. That's absolutely sure. So you have to have some calendar system. If it's not built into the website, then you need some degree of integration. And maybe they want to be able to book a call back with you, and they probably want to ask you for some support through online chat. Maybe you're selling them something, you're actually selling a product. So that is going to involve e-commerce, and if you're not using PayPal, then that will be some form of card payment. And then you've got some terms and conditions involved in that, so you've probably got digital signature. You've sold them a product, they're probably going to join some form of membership system on your website so they can log in and download products, for example. So we have some kind of membership going on here. And if you've sold them any form of product, you're going to ship them something, so you've got some kind of integration with a shipping system that prints out labels and all the rest of it. And then if they have got some kind of membership system, maybe you're going to educate them, so you're going to put courses. You're going to have courses that people can log into, and that's all well and good. And then, of course, you want to communicate with these people regularly, so you'll have some kind of email automation system, won't you? Yes, of course you will. So, and all of this needs to exist and be delivered across desktop, tablet and mobile, and it all has to work. And we haven't even begun to mention social media yet. We've just been talking about the website. We haven't even talked about how you integrate with your website social media through the pixels. You see why I believe that this is hard? Just look at the number of integrations that are required to make all of this work. And remember that Google has said to you very, very clearly that by September this year, September 2020, you have to deliver all of this on mobile, tickety-boo, really good, because of their mobile first index strategy, which we'll cover on another video. But basically that says by September this year, they're going to be indexing the mobile version of your website as being the critical one. So you have to have all of this live on mobile, delivering courses, membership, card payments, online chat, all this kind of stuff. And you still want to believe the people that tell you that IT is easy? No, it's not easy. It was a decade ago. was a decade ago in comparison to how it is now. And if you roll back 20 years, it was easier then, frankly. But we're in the third decade of the 21st century. This is complex. And Wicked Web Wednesdays are here to explain this complexity to you so that you are equipped to ask the right questions, because that, ladies and gentlemen, is, I believe, what you should be doing. You shouldn't try to do all of this yourself. You really shouldn't. In my view, you need to have IT professionals to help you. That's my personal opinion. Well, I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I am one. Well, okay. But that's been my life. I believe you need to have IT professionals to help you. I do believe, though, that your skill should be asking the right questions so that you can audit the skills of the people that come to help you. That's really what I want to do with Wicked Web Wednesdays. Enable you to ask the right questions so you can rely on the people who help you. There is a number of topics coming up. Many more I have lined up. I know exactly what the schedule is going to be over coming weeks. If you want me to cover any particular topic, do please leave a comment, and I promise we'll do our best to cover them all in due course. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll tune in again for next week's episode, where we're going to talk about testing, a critical aspect of IT that is often overlooked. Bye now.